Hello everyone and welcome to another How to Do. So today I'm going to be doing something that I know a lot of people have been wanting me to do for quite a while, and it is showing you how to dismantle a classic TARDIS. But before I start, there's a couple of things that I need to go over. Now this obviously is not a standard classic TARDIS, this is my 5th Doctor custom TARDIS. You might have seen it recently in a custom figure showcase that I did. The reason that I'm taking apart this one is because the only standard TARDISes I have left are the 7th Doctor TARDIS and the 4th Doctor TARDIS, and both of those are in full working condition, and they're both in very good near mint condition, so I don't want to take them apart. And also, whenever I buy my electronic these TARDISes for customs, or I have bought them because they're very hard to get hold of these days, when I bought them cheaply because I got them as spares or repairs, and this one particularly, the electronics don't work in this. So what I'm going to do is, this is not going to be an instruction on how to take it apart. It's going to be an instruction on how to take it apart, but it's not going to have anything to do with the electronics in it because the electronics in this don't work. Now I'm going to try and explain what needs to be done with the electronics as I go along, but this is literally just a tutorial about taking how the model comes apart. I'm sure some people are going to say, oh, can you do one showing us how to take the electronics apart? At the moment, unfortunately, I have no plans to do that, and I'm unlikely to do that simply because I don't want to take apart one of my working ones, and I don't have any others spare. And obviously, as I said before, they are very difficult to get hold of. But first things first, we are going to start with dismantling this. Now, as always, starting on the base, these screws have to come out, so let's take those out first. Right, we have the screws out, so we very carefully take the base off because there are loose springs in here and they have been known at times to just fly out. So, what we have in here, essentially, let's dismantle this bit by bit. So, under here, this is the switch that obviously is the landing sound. When you put it down, that's the landing sound. Under there is a spring, so you just gently, I'm trying to work out the best way to do this on camera, gently lever it out, because obviously there is a spring under there that you don't want to go flying off anywhere. You've obviously got this little piece which just sits on top of the switch. This spring in here, which has the floor panel in it. Now what you don't want to do is push the floor panel out on the inside because, and this is where you do have to be careful, this piece in here, this spring is very compressed, so if you just push that out, this spring will fly off out that way. So I'm gonna have to put my hand here so it doesn't do that. Oh, I might be lucky. No, I've actually managed to get that out, but I'm still going to put my hand there because basically what I'm now going to do, I'm trying to work out the best way of doing this so I can catch the spring and try and show it on camera, is to get the screwdriver in there. Oh, there we go. Push it out, and there you go. There's the spring. Luckily it didn't go very far. So that is the basic bits under there. Now the other thing, which I'm not going to do in this video, and I'm going to explain why, is this piece here has a coil of wire underneath it, and this is for the door mechanism. So when you push the door open, obviously with this mechanism in here, it then holds the door in place. Without the mechanism in there, the door just snaps back shut. But it is very, very difficult, or at least I find it very difficult, to get this piece back in, because you've got to essentially, once you take this out, the coil, the piece of wire becomes uncoiled, so you've got to put it back in and then be able to rotate it to get it back into place, and it is very, very fiddly work doing that. So I'm not going to do that, but if you want to remove the doors, this door is free floating, you'll see in a minute, but this door does sit in there, has to be screwed in, but I'm not going to remove that. So once you've got the base off, the next thing is going to be these 4 in each corner, so let's do those. Okay, I have the base away now. Now, it took me a minute. I had to try and push that off on camera because two things happen here. First of all, there you go, free floating door. Now, if you want to take this door apart, which you can, obviously, you've got screw here, take those out, and that removes the police phone box bit, which is under here, and also the door is free floating, that just slots in. Again, I'm not going to do that, just because all you've got to do is literally remove 2 screws and it's apart, so that's nice and simple. Obviously, now, these windows can be taken out. I haven't done that, and I'm not planning to do that because they are fixed in quite solidly and I don't want to risk breaking it. But as you can see what I mean now that that spring is in there. Now what you do have to be careful of, and it's partly an issue here because of where I've painted this, the paint has stuck to itself. But the pegs in the bottom here, which hold the base onto it, this can sometimes happen. Now this has happened when I first did it, is they can snap off. So you do have to be very, very careful when doing this, obviously. Now obviously as well, there will be wires coming up from here into here when you take yours apart as well, because obviously this is where all the sound bits are, but obviously I've taken those out. So now we've got those out, let's keep those off to one side. So next up in here, we've got this box here, which contains the pieces that would normally have the microphone in them. Now I'm hoping I can commentate while I'm doing this piece because I need to talk about it. So, because basically what you'll have in here, as I said, is there will be wires going up into the base here. So you obviously have to be very careful because it is very delicate work getting this piece off, and it can be quite difficult. I've missed one. Which one have I missed? It's that one. So you do have to be careful with the wires and things like that. But let's take that out. So then that comes out. It's also a good idea to keep all of the screws and things together in one place so you don't lose anything. So basically, here's your battery compartment. Obviously, you've got the battery piece on the back here. But your battery compartment in here, as I said, obviously there'll be wires going into here, and then that's where the speaker would be, but as I said, I've taken mine out. So once you've got those out, the next steps are going to be, now I've got to think this through because I'm not entirely sure myself, because you've got 4 screws here that are the ceiling, and then you've got 2 screws here and 2 screws here, which are the sides. So I am going to try and take these ones out first, and I will again have to speed up to do this. Okay, so now what I've done, I've taken those screws out and I've loosened these ones. They don't want to fall out of their own accord, but I think they're loose enough. Now, it's been a while since I've done this, so this is a bit of trial and error for me. Now, the next thing I think I need to do is to take off the roof. Now, it's under these pieces here, these flat pieces are what you've got to lever up, and it does take a bit of persuading to get them up. I suggest finding one that's got the most gap in it and then levering it up. I'm using a flat, oh, that's one of the screws from the roof just came out. I'm using a flat bladed screwdriver because then if you can get it in and then turn it carefully, it does just lift the plastic up, and then you can work your way along the edge. But obviously the plastic on here, was another screw, and I'm not quite sure where that one went. It'll be around somewhere. But yeah, so it is very soft plastic, so it does make sense to be very gentle when you're doing this, because as you can see, that will start to happen. So it is worth being careful. And obviously it will get to a point where you might find that you can only get one side out, or even just one of the pegs out. So you do just need to be careful with the others. Right, so that is 3 of 4 out. So now I should, in theory, be able to just coax that one out, but you still, again, have to be careful because you have pegs, again, like you've got on the base piece, which may snap off. So it does pay to be careful, and there is the roof off. Now, while I'm on the subject of the roof, obviously, again, there will be more wires coming under here. If you want to take the lamp off, again, the wires aren't there because I've taken them out. and I've actually, I believe, glued, yeah. So essentially what you would do then is there's a screw here and a screw here, and there's wires. So essentially what you do is screw those out, take that out, and then this piece, you can see the join between the lamp inside. This piece will pop out and come out with this plate, which gives you access to the light inside. But again, because of the way that I've put this custom together, I'm not going to be doing that. So then that leaves us with this. So what I've done here, as I said, I've taken out screws. Can I just pop that one? Whoop, there we go. There was another one. I still don't know where that other one went. I'll find it. So that then leaves us with essentially police box shape. It was there on the end of the screwdriver. How about that? So that leaves us with the police box shape. Now, the next thing to do is this front piece, separate piece, is a separate sign. So again, that needs to come off because essentially that's kind of like the keystone that holds the main part of it together. So we take that out slowly, carefully, and then again, if I'm careful enough, whoop, there we go. Again, you've just got to be careful because again, you've got pegs that might pop off, that might come off, and then that is the front sign piece off. Now the next thing you have here is this piece. Once you've taken out these screws, is actually a small plate. So then that, you just again have to just be careful because it is quite stiff. And I have to say, maybe it's just this custom. It is a bit more stiff because this has got added paint on it. Out comes that plate. And again on here, this is the stop piece spring for the door, the hinge piece to hold it there. Again, you don't need to take this off. I've never taken this off when I've done the customs, but if you want to dismantle the whole thing, you can do. So then that leaves us with, and this is going to be the hard part, and I might have to not do this because it might be quite difficult because the paint on this is set, but essentially now the screws in here have been taken out, you can, I don't think this is going to work. I'll have to take this off camera to do this, I apologise. But I don't, okay, I've got one side off, but anyway, this side doesn't want to come off, but essentially if I just carefully slot that back into place, essentially once you've got these screws in here off, I'm trying to do this, I hope this is coming out alright on camera because I'm having to sit over here and I can't see the back of the camera screen. But yeah, basically once you've got those pieces out, these side pieces, just if you're careful enough, don't tell me I've just, there we go. The side pieces just come out like that, and then you are essentially left with your 3 panels, and that is basically dismantling a classic TARDIS. It's I think it's a lot simpler. It's a lot simpler than it looks when you have one like this that is just pieces. The things you need to bear in mind is you need to do it slowly. And you need to do it carefully. And if you are making custom versions like this, obviously, as I said, these police boxes, these classic ones, are very, very hard to get hold of now. So if you are planning a custom version, you might find that you need to shop around a bit. But essentially, what I would suggest is if you are planning on making a custom version and you don't mind it not having electronics, then I would try and find one the electronics aren't working in, because once you've broken one piece of the electronics, bearing in mind that I have to say on I think my first Dr. TARDIS, that was my first one I made, that I modified, and I did break the electronics, and it was a real shame because once they're broken, they're incredibly fiddly and a lot of work to put back together, particularly to people not in the know of electronics. So I would recommend getting a non-functioning version, because not only will it be cheaper, it will also be easier because you'll be able to dismantle it without having to worry about the electronics. But yes, it's not, like I said, I haven't done literally everything because I couldn't do the electronics, and obviously there are still bits and pieces on this custom that I have had to cut corners on because where I've customized it, there are things on here that now can't be done. Obviously, all the little bits I said, like taking out bits of the lamp and things, I've tried to show you the best I can. I hope this was informative, and I hope it came out very well on camera. So that is the end of this how to do video. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot. And be sure to check out the description below for a link to my Patreon. There is an exclusive webcomic and rewards for those who support it, and all money from those supports goes towards helping me fund future videos. I salute you all, and I will see you in another video very soon.